I sit, listening to another of Muto's long-winded lectures, my mind wandering far from the scribbles on the dirty blackboard. Since I called Lily, my mind's been drawn into two directions, both roughly lead to the same conclusion. I've started to feel oddly detached from my past life. It's only been a month and a half since I arrived here, yet this school's become a second home. I've gained a few new friends, contacts, managed to get to grips with the school's lifestyle and culture, and become more accustomed to the quirks of my classmates. To become used to a school where disabilities are the norm rather than the rare exception still catches me off guard sometimes when I think on it. The same school that's populated by burn victims, amputees, the blind, the deaf. God, I'm having bad hiccups, I'm so sorry. And all manner of disabilities in between. If someone had described the school to me before I'd come, I'd have shrugged it off as an overactive imagination. Even when I first arrived, it felt like the Dutch coming to this strange new land for the first time. It's amazing how quickly one becomes used to the environment they're forced to live in, really. And now that I've even found someone that's got me entirely smitten, what a strange life. Before my mind can wander any further, though, I find a page of lined paper slipped under my distracted face. The garish bright pink ink has no doubt been penned by Misha. Don't look so bored, Hee-chan. School's nearly over. 3-day holiday. Oh, right, we get Saturday and Monday off. Can't complain about having less school, I suppose. I uncap my pen and scribble on the page before covertly passing it back to her, flicking my eyes to the front of the class every now and then. Muto continues scrawling away arcane equations and formulas on the board. I'm guessing you have something planned? Misha takes the paper back and hunches over comically, even for her, with her tongue poking through the side of her mouth. Did she misinterpret my expression as depressed? And is she trying to cheer me up? Student council work with Chichan, of course. You're still not brooding over that, surely? But Hee-chan could have helped us poor, lonely girls. I'd lend you a hand for today if I weren't going to be so busy. Ooh, naughty, naughty Hee-chan. I'm just going to meet Lily with Hanako. I don't know what you've got going through your head. So Lily's back? Yeah, she's coming on the evening flight with her sister, so she'll be back in school next week. As she takes the note back and begins to write, I look up at an unwelcome sight. When I frantically try to silently catch Misa's attention, Muto confidently strides through the gap between the desks to the front of the class, his intent gaze focused directly on her. She suddenly stops writing as his tall figure casts an impossibly long shadow over the page. I... He silently takes a piece of paper from her and begins to read. Sweating bullets, I quickly glance around the class, noting their complete silence. Of course, it would have to be the one thing that actually gets their attention during the lesson. After a scant few seconds examining the page, he rolls the paper up into a small tube and lightly bobs Misha over the head with it. Have you guys ever been caught in class passing notes and then the teacher reads it out in front of the whole class? I have. It's the most embarrassing shit I've ever been a part of. Because we had terrible handwriting too, so like she couldn't even understand what we were saying, and she just read off these really random sounding words, and it was just like, I don't, yeah, man, it's, I don't know, I hated that. Half an hour until you can hop off the student council. Think you can hold on until then? Misha's face cracks the entire class Misha's face cracks as the entire class erupts into laughter. He might as well be awkward, but he knows how to handle her excellently. I'd probably feel sorry for her if I weren't as busy stifling my own laughter. Is that one it? No, I think that's some foreign airline. And so the third aircraft they're not on comes into land. For the past half hour, we've been whiling away the time with small snippets of pointless chatter. Lily and Akira's flight has been delayed. At this rate, it'll be probably dark before their plane arrives. Wait, is that one it? No, that company colors are wrong. Hanako's eyes flutter left and right, following the trickle of people in and out of the huge glass doors ahead of us. Fortunately, nobody pays her much heed, their attention apparently directed towards the greater good things. Couldn't they just, like, play chess or something? Like, kill time? Maybe that one's it. No, I think that's... Hold on a minute. I think that one might be it after all. It still takes one more time before the billboard changes their flight status to disembarking. A loud yawn sneaks up on me, not allowing enough time to stifle it. My sleep patterns have once again been all over the place, likely due to the mix of worrying about Hanako and the side effects of my medications. So, over there. I look to Hanako, then follow her gaze to the airport door. Huh? Oh, Lily, they're here. Really? We all call out to each other in greeting, quickly shuffling over to the side to avoid blocking the passage of others. Lily! Hanako jumps forward to hug Lily, a wide smile on her face of being all that's needed to see her happiness at Lily's return. Lily simply smiles in return, her voice soft. It's wonderful to meet you again, Hanako. As the two give each other a hug, well deserved after all that's happened while she was gone, I turn to Akira. Yo, you're pretty late. Yeah, that was a pretty bad storm over the airport. You got drenched just going from the car to the door. Guess you'll appreciate the weather here more then. Welcome back to you, too, Lily. Hanako breaks off from Lily as I speak. For a long time, neither of us says a word. Contrary to what I'd thought her homecoming would be like, the atmosphere feels awkward, almost stifling. Both of us try to guess each other's feelings, not quite sure about what should be said. Damn, this is exactly what I feared when I thought of trying to move things forward between us. Lily runs her hand through her fair hair and awkwardly twirls one of her bangs in her fingers, clearly trying to think of how best to react. Eventually, thankfully, Lily gives a small sigh and breaks the silence. Thank you, Sal. It's nice to be back. Are you okay? You look tired. Evidently not recollecting herself all that well, she quickly waves her hand in front of her face to stave off any concern that Hanako may have over her. I'm okay, really. It's just a bit of jet lag. Weak. You don't have any? She simply gives a big grin, puffing out her modest chest. I feel absolutely fine. That's not fair. Well, you shouldn't take too long to get rid of it. That's right, Hisao. Yeah? Don't we have a holiday from school soon? I'd forgotten if Misha hadn't reminded me this morning. We have a 3-day weekend starting from tomorrow. Kira playfully bumps her elbow lightly into Lily's side, grinning. Told you wouldn't miss it. You have something planned? If neither you nor Hanako are busy. I've got no plans, so something to do would be appreciated. Hanako? No, nothing. That's good. I was thinking we could go to my family's summer house for a bit. Okay. Quiet over the break. We rarely used it recently, though. We'd have to dust things off over there. Oh, where is it? Up north, in Hokkaido. The place is practically deserted, so it should be a nice quiet break for you guys. You're not coming? Wait, was Akira saying that? Oh, up north. Sorry, I was reading it as Lily. Up north in Hokkaido, the practice practically deserted, so it should be a nice quiet break for you guys. You're not coming? Nah, got a little holiday of my own to set up with my boyfriend. Lower my eyes at her, suspicious of her intentions. Sounds like we're just cleaning up the summer house for you. That's perhaps a valid conclusion. Both of us zero-weight on Akira, her face somewhat evasive. Looks like we were right. That's just a convenient bonus, really. Me and the guy left it pretty good condition last time we were there, I promise. Now then, I'm out of here. Already? Akira. She quickly turns and walks away, her hand held high. See you in a few days, guys. Lily and I can only sigh at her hasty retreat. It does sound like it would be a nice place to go. Lily gives an enthusiastic nod, taking her carry bag in one hand and placing her on Hanako's shoulder for guidance as we begin to make our way to the taxi area. After the fracas of the past few days, spending a weekend in the country alone with her and Hanako sounds like a dream. The more I think about it, the more sure I am. This will be the right time and place to confess my feelings to her. Ooh, cute. That's good. The morning chill wraps itself around my shivering body. I huff into my cupped hands to desperately try to stave off the cold as we mill about the station platform. Lily's clothing looks rather ill-suited for the temperature around us. I can only hope that it's indicative of what she expects the weather to be like at our destination. Damn it, Lily, why'd we have to get here so early? Unfortunately, the train schedule is against us. The next train to Hokkaido is at 2 in the afternoon. Great, just great. I pause a moment to wipe some sleep out of my eyes, and Lily promptly takes advantage of the opening. Cheer up, Misao. Once we get there, it'll be much warmer. Why not just take the bullet train? Normal train's going to take hours to get us there, so we may as well take the Shinkansen line, as far north as it goes, and the switch at the end. There's a certain charm to older trains, wouldn't you agree? I agree. I've never taken a train ride, and I've always wanted to, because it just seems like such a peaceful time. I'd agree if I weren't freezing in the morning cold because we decided to take one. I'm sorry, Hisao. Sorry, what for? I was the one who suggested taking a normal train. Way to make me feel guilty. All I could do is sigh and cover my face with my hand. Sao, chill the fuck out. It's fine. I'm just grumbling. My, Sao. Hanako, you needn't shoulder the blame yourself. Even without your suggestion, I still had opted for the same thing. Thankful for the quick interception from Lily, I take a quick gander around the station. Aside from us, the train platform's all but deserted. The morning dew settling on the empty benches. I guess no one else was masochistic enough to brave the very early morning. Though it's sometime, if someone was, they'd more than notice the huge bags both Lily and Hanako brought with them. Just what did you have to pack into those things anyway? The bags? She pauses a moment and tilts her head in thought. A change of clothing, raincoat, underwear, sleepwear, and a number of books. I think that's most of it. You make it sound like I'm unprepared. You brought less? Underwear and a pack of cards. That's it. And my pills, but never mind that. No pajamas? Damn, I knew I forgot something. As I ruffle my hair in frustration, Lily sighs. There should be clothes you could use there. Akira still occasionally goes there, after all. I think some of our parents' clothing is still in storage. I don't think there'll be any problem with you borrowing a set of pajamas, if need be. Thanks. I still don't mind just sleeping in my normal clothing. For 2 days? Good point. Not really. Though 2 days would be borderline, it's more than that. What? Though 2 days would be borderline, it's more that looking even a little less like a slob would be unacceptable while in the presence of 2 girls, although only one of them can see. So really, it doesn't matter how much of a slob you look like to Lily. As we leisurely talk on the station platform, an announcement sounds from the loudspeakers, loudly heralding our ride's arrival. Looking past Lily and Hanako, though, the train's still well out of sight. A quick check of my watch is enough to see that it's the one we'd be taking. The 5:30 train was ours, right? Correct. Oops. Either of you want me to take your bags? Mine's not exactly heavy. My, that's very gentlemanly of you, Hisao. Don't accept too reluctantly, no? As I bend down to pick up Lily's large bag, I look up to see Hanako picking up hers. You fine with that? A silent nod is the only answer. I'm starting to get the feeling that by trip's end I'll be able to count every sentence she has said on one hand. They're so cute! I love Hanako right here. She's so cute. I love her hat. She's just... Oh, Hanako's so cute. With the morning landscape... Lily's very pretty. Sorry, I just gushed over Hanako. With the morning landscape passing by the window and the occasional rattle of the train bumping the carriage around, I try to focus my attention on the aging playing cards held in my hand. Oh, aging playing cards held in my hands. Araju 5? She scrunches her face and leans toward Lily conspiratorially, the two exchanging a few whispered words. Considering how often this has happened so far, I'm coming to doubt Hanako's grasp on how to play poker. It doesn't seem to disturb Lily's reading, though, her hands filtering through each page, with the occasional corrections to account for the train's bumping and rocking. My collection of chess pieces that we're using as chips is steadily growing anyway, so it doesn't really bother me. His chess piece? So he brought cards and underwear and his chess pieces? Or did Hanako have his chess pieces? I'm confused. Looking around us, our carriage is almost as empty as the station platform we'd waited for the train itself on. Only a handful of people can be seen, looking mostly like tourists and couples on holiday. While 2 continue their less than clandestine stargazing, strategizing. A small boy looks over the seat and stares at me, hoping he doesn't begin to stare at Hanako. I simply give him a wave and a smile. Thankfully, he retreats back to his seat after finding me far too boring to waste his attention on. I see you and raise you another 5. Damn, you got me. I fold. I've been bluffing, and she's caught me. Hanging my head, I push over a large portion of my winnings. Hanako looks absolutely delighted, and even if Lily keeps her attention focused on her reading material, I can see the smirk on her face. They're both extremely pleased. For a moment, I try to work out what Lily's reading, but the cover is too faded to read beyond the fact that the Roman letters are on it. A pity I can't read the braille above the printed title. What are you reading, Lily? The title looks like it's in English. That's right. It's And Then There Were None. An old British story. I could read it to you if you like. She extends the offer with a grin, obviously in jest. I think I'll pass. Thanks. After a seemingly endless trip, we finally reach the promised land of the Sato summer house. Even after the train trip, the walk up seemed to take forever. Despite my grumblings, though, I'd have never have guessed the sight would be in store for us when we traveled that long, deserted road. It's more like a farmhouse than an everyday house, I'd imagined, small in size and surrounded by trees and bushes. So why didn't, I'm sure that, Akira and Lily hang out with, Shizune's family a lot, and maybe that they're just happy being a family and all, but why didn't they go here for their vacation that one time, they were there all in the same house? They could have just came here for a vacation. Lily doesn't like Shizune, and like Akira doesn't seem to have a problem with coming here. I mean, I don't know, whatever. An empty expanse of wheat fields and farming land can be seen as we walk up, the fencing only consisting of rickety old wooden planks. It really drives home how far we are from the major cities, and is a sight that feels antithetical to the environment I grew up in. The only thing that doesn't surprise me is its Western styling. Wow, it's amazing out here. It's wonderful. That's nice to hear. While Akira may have said that she's kept the house in reasonable condition, I was worried that it might have different standards of reasonable. It looks like there isn't another soul for miles. I thought Akira would be the type to keep to the city. Lily furrows her brow in thought, seemingly recalling an almost forgotten knowledge. From memory, there's a small town not too far ahead. Other than that, though, this is just a largely just old farmland. Akira and I stayed in our parents' house, which was the nearest city for a while. But after they left, we decided to move to a smaller, more easily maintainable house. To find a place like this in Japan nowadays, it's almost anachronistic. Well, this town does have quite a bit of history. I looked down the street one last time before getting back to the task at hand. Shall we go in then? I'm parched. It was a long walk to get there. Lily gives an enthusiastic nod. The three of us lugging our bags into the house. Cute. As soon as we set foot inside, Hanako and I start looking around, taking in detail of where we'll be staying for the next few days. All the artifacts of another's life stopped mid-motion are around the house. What? Yeah. Such as the television guide lying beside the counter it was on, and the pans in the adjoining kitchen still sitting on the stove. It's a strange feeling, really, as if we stepped into Akira's life for a brief moment, before leaving in a couple of days just as we'd come. Of course, the more mundane reality is that she just hadn't cleaned up after herself that well. Where should we put our bags? I'll show Hanako our bedroom. You can put yours here if you like. You mean I don't have the same bedroom as you two? Hanako flowers into a blush, and Lily takes her cheeks in her hand. Oh my, how bold. You two. Hold on, if I'm going to leave my bags here, where will I be sleeping? Well, seeing as we lack a guest bedroom, the convertible futon, huh? Sorry, Hisao. I sigh, lamenting my place on the bottom rung of the sleeping location priorities. I guess there's no other choice. Lily leaves to show Hanako their bedroom, so I take a small tour of my surroundings after I drop my bag on the floor. Cute, cute. Looks like a modern kitchen. The kitchen, I guess maybe not modern, but the kitchen just like the living room is fairly modest. The rustic nature of the wooden furnishings drives home just how far we are from civilization. Returning to the living room, I decide to try out the television until they get back. With the touch of the remote, it immediately flickers to life, apparently set to a news channel. Almost flopping down from exhaustion rather than sitting, I lay back and watch, and watch, and watch. Is he falling asleep right here? Hisao? Buddy? Hisao? I quickly blink myself up. Lily and Hanako have returned minus their bags. From the Hokkaido night sky visible outside the windows, it looks like I drifted off to sleep. Looking to the wall-mounted clock, it's already 10. You found the television, then? Yeah, it really does feel nice and homey here. I'm glad you like it. You were already out like a light when we came back after unpacking our things, so we didn't have the heart to wake you sooner. Judging from her giggle, I must sound funny when I sleep. I swiftly decide not to inquire. There's some dinner waiting for you in the kitchen. Hanako gives a deep yawn, only remembering to cover her mouth at the last second. My, are you tired? I didn't get much sleep last night. I'm pretty tired too. It was a long walk up here, and it's getting late. If that's the case, I suppose we should retire for the night. Good night, Hisao. Good night. Night. And with that, they quietly turn and walk back to their room. I've seen enough of this game. I think I know what's going on here. Rubbing my eyes, I sigh. I wonder if I'll be able to get back to sleep after being woken up. I suppose I'll eat something and watch some more TV quietly before going to bed. Oh no, are we actually just going to sleep? Why did we sleep and then wake up just to go to sleep again? I'm so confused. I thought we were gonna have sex. Okay, well that's good. Right?